What's the good word, Jets fans? It's your boy DKB here. So Jeff Ulbrich makes his second big move for this coaching staff, the first being demoting Nathaniel Hackett and replacing him with Todd Downing as a play caller. But specifically on the defense, I think one of the things that have gone unspoken is the fact that with him replacing Robert Saleh, he never appointed anybody to replace him, and therefore the entire defensive staff is picking up additional slack. They're not really replacing a ton with this particular signing in Coach Paul Worrilow, and we'll get into some credentials and stuff here in a moment, but it at least adds to that room, gives some responsibilities that can get delegated out, and hopefully it can get Ulbrich to hone in a little bit more on this defense, or potentially he needs to seriously consider assigning himself a new defensive coordinator in his stead, and figure out how he wants to specialize or utilize his experience to really help this roster the best way possible, because the defense has been on a landslide since Robert Saleh has been fired, and that's not necessarily Jeff Ulbrich's fault itself, but he does need to take a hard look at the process, as we love to mention, and see what is the best thing to turn this team around. Now, with that said, Paul Worrilow is a former player, so you always have to love that, right? From the connection standpoint, understanding what these players are going to experience in the NFL and being able to make some of those easy connections. He's currently a defensive coordinator for the 2023 Class 3A champion Silesianum. I'm probably butchering it. Either way, he helped them to their first state title since 2013 when they joined the staff. And then prior to that, he was an assistant coach for the Blue Hens. So you're talking about a guy that is pretty fresh out, right? I believe he didn't really start coaching until 2022. So, we're not expecting a ton. You're not even talking about adding a star, assistant in this case, where you had a guy that's been excelling in some of his roles. Not to say that he hasn't, but, with only 2 years of experience and really making a sizable jump from the level he's at now to the NFL, we're not expecting to really hear about any of his accomplishments probably for a couple of years here, but get a promising guy in early and see what can get done, right? Now, he's going to be joining the staff, as mentioned, as a defensive assistant, but you do love the experience. And again, that's kind of what I have to fall back on with this particular signing. Former Falcons, Lion, Eagle. He even played with the New York Jets for 4 games, I believe, in 2019. Ulbrich actually had a little bit of an overlap with him, I believe, in 2015 as part of it being his linebackers coach, right? And during the peak of his career, it's not like he was just some bum that was out there. He was 5th in tackles at the peak of his career, which I believe happened to have been 2015 when Ulbrich was there. But at least for a 2-year stint, which I want to say is 2014 and 2015, there were only 4 defensive players that made more tackles than him. So I'm not, I don't get super excited about the tackle numbers in and of itself, but in that throwback day and age, it was at least somewhat of an important stat when you take a look at guys like Luke Kuechly and such that were, just racking up those things left and right. And obviously they were either living in the backfield or they have some special talents as well, such as pass coverage. But it helps to know that you have a guy that wasn't just a nobody out there on the field picking up 2 or 3 snaps. Not to say that those guys aren't important or that experience doesn't matter either, but still, you want to have a guy that plays meaningful football in the NFL, and so you're getting that here. So the good news is, hopefully the staff can try to delegate some things again, make it a little bit easier, maybe return to some normalcy with Robert Saleh no longer being present and everybody else having additional layers of action items they need to complete. But if nothing else, I assume this will go largely under the radar. And again, we look like we're getting close to a sweeping coaching staff change being made here, especially if we can't get some things turned around pretty quickly. I won't say it should be surprising, but I feel like it would be if Ulbrich somehow didn't last the rest of this season either, depending on how things go. I can't even tell you if I've seen crazier at this point. The Jets always seem to find a way to one-up one of the last nonsensical things that they've done. So we'll see what happens. Either way, good news, I suppose, in that we're at least adding and trying to make things a little bit easier here. But Let me know what you guys think, and I'll catch you again. Peace.